Good morning, beautiful people of the internet, and welcome once more to the Sunday Special Live. And as you can tell, it's your favourite three people on the call today. Maybe Adam's here somewhere, who knows? But we wish Adam the best of luck wherever he is and whatever it is that he's doing. But we have Piotr, Rusinek, we have Helen, Chorley, we have myself, Jay Howard, and we have you, beautiful people of the internet, watching us. And today we have no idea what to talk about. That's an absolute lie. We do know what to talk about. But what we're going to do is we're going to make some time and create a space for you to be able to ask us a question about anything, literally anything. It'll be our choice whether we answer it or not, but you can certainly ask it. But let's kick it off. Helen, we have someone doing something amazing today we want to give a shout out to.
We do. I want to give a really big shout out to Lizzie Warburton. I met Lizzie on the set when we were filming Property Elevator, and she's running the London Marathon for charity today, and I've forgotten which charity it is. I think it's Scope. I can't remember exactly. My coffee hasn't kicked in yet, but yeah, have a look. Have a look. Look her up. Oh my God, look, I can't even speak. Definitely not had coffee. Look her up on socials and sponsor her. Just give her a £5 or a £10, it all adds up. Get her to. I think they're trying to raise £5,000. So she, I saw a post she did on Instagram where she did a voiceover to the route. They followed the route around London. Oh my God, it's so far. So if you've done it, you're thinking of doing it, or you're doing it today, good luck. Well done. I am in awe. It's something I will never do. And I'm quite happy with that life decision, as I am with many life decisions. But fair play to you.
Who knows, Helen, you've got genes from your mother, and your mother does 3 crazy things at 8.
Crazy stuff. Actually, that's a fair point. I might get to like 60 or 70 and wake up with this epiphany and decide, you know what? I'm going to run the London Marathon. Yeah, that would be very, it's not a Chorley, that's Holmes. That's the other side. That would be a very Holmes thing to do. Yes.
Nice one. Well, good luck to Lizzie. What time does the marathon start?
Started, no?
Started? I don't know. I don't run marathons.
Must be soon.
Yeah, I think it's already started. And my wife did it years ago. She did the marathon. That was crazy.
Wow. Honestly, I am absolutely in awe of people, because it's not like something you can just rock up for and, oh, I'll have a go at this. It's like you're going to kill yourself if you do that, aren't you? It's the dedication and the training and the commitment. I think actually, isn't Michaela's, I think Michaela's other half is doing it as well today. So good luck, Harrison. So good luck to him too. Yay.
Yeah.
My cousin did it 2 years ago. And he was just talking through like his preparation, and it's things that you would never ever think of. Like, you have to have special socks because after running for that period of time, it starts to wear away at the skin of your feet. So you have to have socks that reduce that friction. And then you move to other areas of friction. So he had to put this, I don't know, like, what's it called?
I knew that
Vaseline or something like that on his thighs in case he sets a fire. And then just completely randomly, got to cover his nips. He had to put little plasters on his nipples, because as you're running, you're getting that constant friction. So whole conversation I had with him leading up to this was, so what other frictions have you found out about that you need to protect against? Every time we talked, something was going to get rubbed completely off of his body. So in fairness, I made light of it, but he was running for the Deaf Children's Association. One of his children has got is deaf, well, pretty much deaf in one ear and then partially in the other. James Rogers, lots of Vaseline required. Yeah, that sounds about right. To run a marathon, that's why they created Vaseline, apparently. That's what I heard.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Toenails.
He's lost multiple toenails. That's apparently is a big issue. So I'm starting to look at this as a risk-reward situation. Can I not just find £5,000 somewhere and donate that to charity instead of losing a couple of toenails? Kind of sounds like a modern torture method. But some people love it.
Yeah. I think we should raise some money for charity by playing paddle rather than running marathons. That's my personal opinion.
That's a great idea. When should we do it?
How about 15th of June?
Oh, that's an amazing date. And I just happen to be in the UK then too.
Boom.
Wow, look at this. And I've said that I'm going to play, right? I've already said that I'm playing. People don't realize how big a deal this is. Like, I don't run for a bus, let alone doing it. But I'm turning up. We're going to do this. We're going to see
I
how
don't think
bad
I've got time to learn before then, but so I might have to umpire.
Amazing.
Or,
Well,
I don't know.
No, you'll get
Learn
involved, Helen.
refreshments.
Just jump right in. It's a bat and a ball. Just hit the thing. What do you need to learn?
the good thing is that we're gonna play this American style tournament, which is basically means you don't get a fixed partner. Like everyone plays with everyone. It's like random mix. So no one's gonna get too annoyed at you, Jay, for like playing a few games over. So it's like it'll be fine. Just one game each.
Everyone gets to play with everyone. Excellent.
Yeah, pretty much. Not everyone with everyone, but it's gonna be like a mixed thing. So you get different partner for every game, and you play against different people every game. It's
Wow.
really.
I've played that
entertaining.
before. I've played that before.
You played what before? No, you didn't, Jay.
I played paddle before. How dare
Yeah,
you
you
pretend I
played
haven't played
paddle.
paddle?
You played. You hit the ball a few times. You did, yes.
More than a few
That
times.
counts.
Dismissed my accomplishments so readily.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun thing. Yes. So that's that.
15th of June, London, is it?
London. Yes.
I'll bring
And
I'll bring the sunshine. That's what I can be in charge of.
There you go. And colors.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I'll bring the sarcastic humor.
Amazing. Yeah, we already have over 20 people on the list, which is great.
Oh, fab.
Yeah, we haven't chosen any charities or anything organizational isn't yet fully completed, but if anyone's got suggestions for charities and stuff, drop them in the comments. We'll choose one. Brilliant. So what's been happening this week? What's the gossip? Or what are the questions from people? Like, if you guys have any questions you want to ask us today, we're gonna answer every question we want.
Today we're the Agni aunt and uncles. So, if it's property woes or whatever, just drop it in the chat. Or if you have one of our contact details separately and you want to remain anonymous, you can send it to us directly and we'll share it with the group.
Good question.
But we saw some really good auction results this week. No, there was we stumbled across lot 1 at Barnet Ross Auctions, which is a beast of a building in between Ealing and Acton on Gunnersbury. And we stumbled across it because really we should have seen it a month ago. But it sold for like £4 and a bit million. It's a big old building. It's a commercial on the ground floor, and then I think 12 or 16 flats above, or ranges HMOs or whatever. It's a beast of a building. And I think whoever bought it for 4.2, I think they still got themselves a bit of a bargain. I think it was worth a couple of $100,000 more than that at least.
Yeah, sounds like.
So still.
Yeah, James is asking how it's actually a good question after we start talking about it. How you're finding auction markets at the moment. So
it's hot. It's a hot market, isn't it? I mean, the number of auctioneers that are now doing 2-day auctions that in the last 50 years barely did a full-day auction, So you could be in and out of an auction room between, midday and 4 or 9 and 3 and things like that. And now they have to do it over 2 days. And there are some auctioneers doing 2 auctions a month. And they're going to get to the point where it's 2 2-day auctions a month. I think that's probably pointing out Savills a little bit too readily, but they're doing 2-day auctions. It's massive. Even the growth of Allsop commercial auction, arguably not as big as it was 10-15 years ago, but considering the interest rates and how that affects commercial property and commercial property income, their catalogue still looks really healthy, which is a real trend bucker.
Yeah, it's I've had even a few WhatsApp messages from people like who not really that much into auctions, but they were like messaging me because they've seen some really big results, and they're like, auctions really that hot. So it seems like it's visible and it's spreading. Auctions are like a cryptocurrency right now.
You're like, welcome to our world. Come on
Yeah,
in.
but the thing is like not for everything, and people come
No.
to us like to value things, and they want to sell things through an auction because they see the big amazing results. But also like we chatted with like Barnett Ross guys about some of the results, and also we like selling a very chunky property for a client in a June auction. And we can selling this with Barnett Ross as well, and then this client is like he's really well organized and he's trying to put everything together, and with a hope that this is gonna massively impact the property, which it helps to have a property well presented. However, like the Barnett Ross guys are saying, what sells is low price to get people in, and then they decide what the property is worth. And that's the key thing. Like it all has to start with the low price, and if someone wants to start like get an amazing result in the auction, they also need to be willing to possibly sell the property for really well under the what they want, and what they might consider a market value. So the market value is set by the market, not by sellers, unfortunately.
I would say 8 out of the 10 conversations I've had in the last 2 weeks have been telling people, vendors, that they see the fact that all this stuff is selling at auction, because investors look at auctions to buy stock and they think, well, that's sold for crazy money, but they forget the price that it started at, that guide price, and that guide price and reserve price are married with each other. They have to stay within 10% of each other. And you have to say, look, this vendor did so well because they took the pain that the buyer has to take. Auction is a painful experience for a buyer and a seller. People only ever talk about it being painful for the buyer. Oh, you only have X amount of time to do your due diligence. Maybe you have to use finance you don't fancy. It's expensive. You don't get all the information that you need, or time that you need to do all the things. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. It feels unnecessary. It's not, because it forces you into a position where you are taking action, where you're actually doing deals, an environment where things happen, where there is a what's the word I'm looking for, Piotr? It doesn't matter. Where you actually have to. There you go. Where you got the competition, but actually with the fall of the hammer, that's it, done.
Yeah.
Commitment.
Commitment. That's the word. It was the other C word. Commitment. And it's a very powerful environment, but buyers think that it's a bad situation for them. You have to sit back and go, what would force a seller to go, right, I have to be happy if my £350,000 property sells for £275,000, what does that look like for me? And that's a risk that sellers at auction have to take. And I would say 8 out of the 10 people that I've spoken to in the last 2 weeks want the results that auction provides. They want the competition. They want the commitment. They want all of that good stuff, but they don't want any of the risk. You can't be a property investor without any of the risk. You can't be an investor without any. You can't be a human being living at any point in the last 5,000 years without any risk. It's impossible.
No. What's the price? Everything has a cost. What's the price you're willing to pay? And the price, the cost of the price on that might not be the worst result, but you have to take that risk. You have to take that uncertainty. Yeah.
And the auction finds the value on the day. Just because you can market a property with an estate agent for 3 years and someone turns up and on the 1,000th day or whatever it is and says, oh, I will give you that price, doesn't mean it was worth that when you listed it 3 years earlier. It means the market's moved. If you're looking at selling at any point in the market, you have to rely on the fact that you bought exceptionally very well. The money is made at the point of purchase. And a lot of people struggle with the sell at auction because they never planned for an auction exit. Every person who gets their property valued by a RICS valuer will only look at this is the market value of my property. How many people look at that 90-day value? because that 90-day value is also known as the auction value and the fire sale value. So if you're not buying it at that auction value or below that auction value, then selling at auction is not going to be a viable exit strategy for you, because you're going to be indebted over that level considerably. Just a thought experiment. But overall, the auction market's doing really very well, James.
Yeah, people can take the pain. Graham is asking, are you still seeing increased tenanted properties being sold off? Are there any stats showing if they're being sold to other landlords?
So, Graham, that's a brilliant question. Essential Information Group release a quarterly report, Property Auction Insights, right? And I think last quarter they did numbers based very much on this. And actually, there is a trend showing that actually a lot of landlords are getting their properties vacant first before they're selling them on the market or at auction. That seems to be the big thing. That just seems to be overall what a lot of people are doing. Now, you are still seeing things like things that don't stack up vacant can't be sold vacant at auction. A vacant HMO, you're not going to get the money that you paid. You're not going to get the money that you paid into that HMO back out if it's vacant. If you bought a house for £300,000 and spent £200,000 refurbing it, turning it into a fully compliant HMO, and it's vacant, no one's paying you that commercial valuation because it's vacant. So, you know, there are some exceptions to the rule, and HMOs and several others are some of those that are still being sold tenanted. And you're seeing a real big issue now with the home REIT stock, which we've been talking about since, I don't know, September, October last year. These are properties that home REIT were buying, and Piotr's numbers are they're going into auction at 25% what they paid for them, vacant or with tenancy unknown or with CICs not operating, and then selling at 40% of their value or 50% of their value.
50 to 60.
50 to 60. Sorry, apologies. So 40% off would be 60% of their values. I was close. Wrong way round. But yeah, so you're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of that.
And it's really difficult to also say whether those sell to landlords or not, because with that tenanted, no end user would buy a tenanted property really. And if a trader buys the property, automatically they kind of become a landlord for a brief while, but they might get the property vacant if there's large enough discount and then sell the property vacant in the next few months. So it's really difficult to establish whether those, if they're tenanted, they really sell to landlords because those people automatically become landlords. But if they are vacant, very few landlords are actually buying properties now to like just rent out, and unless they can get double digit yields.
That's true. But Graham, if you're looking at those stats or that information, if you go to Essential Information Group, or look at their URL, eigpropertyauctions.co.uk, you can go there, click on news and information. You can do this without being a member to their platform, and if you're not, it's an absolute crime. But if you're not, you can still click on news and information, subscribe to their newsletter, which comes out every month, detailing what happened the month prior in the auctions. And you can also have a look at the Property Auction Insights, and you can view all of the back editions as well. So make sure you check that stuff out if you're interested in auctions and market flow.
And also the kind of great question to ask of the panels on the 2nd of May event organized by EIG, because the guys, David Sandeman, David Leader will be there, and they work with the information, disinformation all the time, day in, day out. So they will be able to, and they also speak to auctioneers like regularly, daily basically, and they will have way more information that isn't like officially released, but they have a sixth sense about it. So
yeah, we talked about that. If you missed that, the information about that event, just check back at last week's video, because we talked about that. We had David Leary on just at the beginning, talking about who's speaking and what they're covering. So check that out. And the links, well, we can put the links in today, but the links are also on that post from last week as well. So that's got all the information there for 2nd of May. And the guys will be there. I won't, sadly, in the UK, but I'm in Malta. But these two legends will be.
We'll be there. Yeah. If there's any chat about auctions, we like to be in the room. It's one of those things.
Yeah. So, and the information about this event is on the main chat, on the main page of EIG Property Auctions. So just go to EIG Property Auctions and you'll see a big banner saying event.
Okay, so just for those that join a little bit late, today is a Q&A chat and just a random chat between myself, Piotr, and Helen. So if you have any questions for us or any questions about the market or property or anything like that, just drop it in and hopefully we'll be able to answer it before the end of today's call. But we have a message from Linda Long. Interest rates this year, up, down, question mark. Last few quotes I've had for remortgaging buy-to-lets was 7.9% for 50 to 60% LTV, but I keep hearing other people getting 4 to 5% deals. Okay. So what I'll say here, Linda, is we don't have buy-to-lets, or at least myself and Piotr don't. We don't have mortgages. We kind of work with private investors, so our market is a little bit different. So looking at those figures, it may make sense for us to get someone who maybe is active in getting rates and a mortgage brokery type person to come and speak on another Sunday call.
If Adam had been here, he could more than happily answer that. So definitely check out. I'm assuming he's done a Sunday supplement today. So check that out. And also, Linda, check out last week's video because he definitely addresses that. The 4%, 5%, I can just about get 4%. Like, wow. My suspicion with all of these things is that when you're looking at 7.9% and somebody else is getting 4%, you are not comparing oranges and oranges.
Correct.
That's just not possible. For the differential in that rate, that's a bloody huge differential, isn't it? That's like, it's not 50%, but it ain't far off. That's not apples and apples. There's something different going on there. There's something different in the loan to value. There's something different in the GDP, or if it's there's something different going on. So be very careful when people throw out numbers around, because you don't know what that's based on. And it might sound wonderful, but if it's almost like if you're not able to access that rate for your product, honestly, like, why torment yourself? If you've got a good broker on board who is getting the best for you with what product, what asset you are trying to get lending on, then if someone's getting 4%, yes, that would be lovely, but you haven't got that asset. So don't torment yourself. You're going to wind yourself up rotten looking at things like that. So I wouldn't do that. In terms of where rates are going, certainly the chat last week, and again, like, check out Adam's stuff from last week, is that the inflationary pressures are still there. I know people are talking, rates will come down. We're all talking our own wish list. We're all talking our own book there. We want them to come down. Just because we want something to happen doesn't mean it's going to. I think we all have probably realized that in life by now. So, and actually, was it the 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we even talked, or Adam even mentioned, which I thought was a really, really great point. He even talked about that little outlier that no one's talking about. What if we've got another hike still in there? The inflationary pressures haven't gone away. They're still underlying. He goes into all the detail. I won't get into that today, but they're still there. So if you're holding out for a drop, black swan events, aside, don't hold your breath.
I think, all brilliant points. I think if someone is flashing 4 to 5% rates at you, I imagine there is probably like a 7% arrangement fee or something stupid like that. So it's, and Helen's, you're not comparing a like for like. People forget how long it takes.
They get you somewhere. Yeah. So you're paying, by the time you pay the extortionate arrangement fee, and if you amortize that over the thing of the loan, like, you're probably at 7% anyway. So that's what I'm saying. You need to getting the details. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, no, it's very, absolutely. I think with people forget how long it takes for inflation to actually affect the market. No, the reason why it was so bad in the beginning is because they were so slow in reacting, and they've only got the one blunt instrument. They can only really increase or decrease the interest rates to attack it. You can't throw QE at it. There's only a few things that you can do that have any kind of real effect against the inflation reaction. And some of the points that Adam's made in the past, if you haven't been reading the supplement, read the supplement. It is really very good.
Yeah.
But the things that he's been red flagging for the last couple of months consistently is the wage inflation. The fact that, and obviously, junior doctors deserve to be well paid well. Yes. Train drivers. Yeah. All of these people, all of these wages, the more money people have in their pockets, the more money they have to spend, the more inflation you create from that. So whilst I'd like to think there isn't another increase, because I think that the government and the Bank of England are going to try and do the best thing possible to make sure that society doesn't completely break down. I think another increase on the interest rate might be with the straw that breaketh the camel's back. God knows what it will be. But in the same vein, I think about 6 months ago, I was quite bullish on the fact that maybe there would be a June 0.25% drop. And I am now no longer bullish on the June 0.25% drop. If anything, I think they may hold. But I think if there's an interest rate increase, I think that's a nail in the coffin for any political leader that's standing. Actually, whether you're in the leader or in the opposition, because if you're in the opposition and you're unable to oppose these things and affect change from the opposition, then you're also ineffective in being a person that can lead. If you're a terrible opponent, you're a terrible leader. There's no way to look at it. In every government that's actually been remotely successful in the last 100 years, the society works better when there is a strong leader and a strong opposition, and they push each other to make sure that government actually works. If you have a weak leader and a weak opposition, those aren't options. They're not effective ones anyway. So if there are these things that keep increasing and keep going wrong, judging the people that are in leadership is absolutely correct and right. But judging the opposition for being in a position and being ineffectual to oppose is problematic as well. That's an unnecessary rant on interest rates. Would have been far better and far more well positioned if it was Adam talking about that.
Linda is saying she's looking to lease equity for reinvestment.
Okay, it's a very, very different product there, and it's a very, very different reason, and it will be priced differently. And the pricing in terms of lending is your interest rate. That's why there's the difference, Linda. Yeah.
And if they're only offering you 50 to 60% loan to value, not knowing anything about the assets you're owning, quantity or value, it's a very low yield of capital release and a very high yielding cost of debt. It feels like maybe it's not the best time to try and do that.
Yeah, the best way is to instead of relying on people saying things on Facebook, just speak to 3 or 4 brokers, and between 3 and 4, you will be able to get the best possibilities for your particular properties and your particular circumstances, because there's so many things at play.
Yeah. If you want recommendations, reach out to us, but get a good broker, get somebody recommended by somebody who knows what they're doing, a property specialist, not somebody high street.
In times like this, Linda, I always find it's best to look at what the price of something is, price cost, versus what the value return is. So you need to be looking at it not just what the cost is, but what the value return for you is on that cost. So if you're thinking about these figures as with the headset of being in 2018, they're not going to look good. But you need to be thinking more in the currently into the future.
There's also different ways of doing it depending on what you're looking to do with it, and depending if you're a developer or an investor yourself, Linda, like if there's no charge, if there's no mortgage on your current property, then somebody might lend you, a private investor might lend you money if you allow them a first charge on your property, but it all depends on individual circumstances. But there might be other ways to free up money than going to a lender.
Excellent. And Linda's confirmed, yes, massive arrangement fees on that 4 to 5%. So yeah, if they don't get you one way, as Helen says, they'll get you the other.
It's like those that it always used to get me, like with the foreign exchange. Obviously, like that's my background from investment banking, and people would be like, I'm going to go to the post office because they don't charge you any like, there's a fee in addition to the exchange rate. They don't charge you any fees. I'm like, but what do their rates look like? Their rates rape and pillage you. You're better off paying the, what was it? I don't know, £5 fee, and depending on how much you're changing, you better paying the £5 fee. You get a better exchange rate. So you saving, let's call it, I don't know, whatever, 60 quid on the amount that you're changing because of the rate you get. Yes, you've given up £5, but you're still £55 better off. But people were like, no, they don't want to pay the £5 because it's it bugs the out of me. Just cough up, pay the £5 fee. It's transparent, it's there, and then go and get a better rate. But because it's all smoke and mirrors, I'm like, no, let's be upfront and clear and honest about all of this. So always work
Cost,
out.
value, cost.
It's like foods with no added sugar that have lots of sugar in it. That's just not added. Brilliant. Okay.
I like, my favorite thing on labeling, God, we are going on a slight tangent. I love the things that they label, like, I don't know, I saw something like, I think it was some kind of frozen veg. It was some vegetable or fruit, and they said no gluten. I'm like, it's just a vegetable. There shouldn't be any gluten in it. Do you really need to say that to people? Okay, wow. Anyway, whatever.
Oh, amazing. Okay, what other questions do we have? If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll bring them up on screen. And yeah,
you've been looking at some interesting stories this week, Piotr.
Yeah, so one interesting story is, a bit of a gossip, is like how people view the name change of Aberdeen Asset Management to ABRDN.
Asset management.
I don't think they do even asset management. I think they just ABRDN. Like they
just
took
got
all
rubber
the
and
vowels.
like rubbed out the vowels.
Yeah.
Think about it, Piotr. Now, every time they print a letter, they're saving money on ink for removing the vowels. Every time they have to put a signage up on their commercial property, on their buildings, there's fewer letters. If they have it backlit, there's less lightings. These people are looking to save the planet one step at a time, and you only have negative things to say.
And it only probably cost them like squillions in branding, rebranding. Please, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, when in doubt, just remove all the vowels.
It's a bit like funky, though, isn't it? Yes, there we go.
No,
like exactly. That makes me think. That makes me think of oh God, what's that like?
For me, the clothing brand.
Exactly. It makes me think of that Hollister, like got that vibe to it. I don't know why.
Yeah, hipster jeans basically, or hoodies.
Aberdeen. I think at one point I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm making it up. Piotr, when we were doing the branding for Hammond, was one of the options not having the vowels in?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can't think so. I think I'm making it up.
But like we could rebrand to. Hammond.
Yeah. Hammered.
I don't think that would have the same impact.
No, it won't.
That could be Hummered. Like you'd have to upgrade the hammered mobile to a Hummer.
Yes, I think we should do that.
Should be really quite cool. I'd happily drive around with you in that.
When you remove all the vowels, it sounds like it might be an acronym for something.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what is HMMRD? What is that?
Oh,
Hyper mobile muscular something disorder. It sounds like it could be like a thing. You still missed an E.
yeah, I know. I'm just like adding one at a time to try to
At a time.
No, but it doesn't work. I don't like it. Yeah, but I think those name changes are a bit silly. Also, like another thing that I've recently noticed, how the brand Peugeot, like how they changed the logo over time, and actually their logo right now is really cool. But there were some times where it was disgusting, so bad, and I'm like,
say it properly. Say it properly.
Disgusting.
That's better.
Absolutely.
I like the extra emphasis on the G. It's like disgusting.
They clearly have a very big budget for branding and marketing if they've changed their logo multiple times.
Yeah, I think that like it just evolves over time, and
but I don't pay someone to do that. Maybe that I'm just suggesting. Maybe that money would be better diversified into, I don't know, sales recruitment or providing a better service, and then they wouldn't need to rebrand every 15 minutes. Just an idea.
Yeah. I just I really wonder like how those changes to logos and stuff like over time make people actually buy more or do like I would be interested in this kind of research.
Have you seen Coca-Cola? Obviously, that's a ridiculous thing to say. You've all seen the Coca-Cola.
What is it, Jay?
Tell us. Well, when it started, one of the primary ingredients was coca, which is cocaine. But anyway, beside the point.
Yes.
The branding for Coca-Cola has changed thousands of times in its lifespan. And until you actually see the timeline of it going through, very minor, very different things as things progress. Same thing with McDonald's. You think McDonald's hasn't changed much, but when was the last time you saw Ronald as part of its branding? You don't.
Yeah.
When they've changed the way that the branding operates within the stores, their packaging, all of these things. It isn't just the golden arches or the stylized Coca-Cola. Here's one I prepared earlier. Not sponsored, by the way, not sponsored. But how that changes throughout time is ridiculous. Same thing with Adidas, with Nike, with Reebok. Some of these brands that have been around for 100 years plus, you almost don't notice it. But it changes
when it's
all the time.
subtle. Yeah. That I get.
But when it's like a multinational where they have where the brands are in multiple different countries, they do split testing on when they change things versus when they don't change things. And based on the reaction in other countries, they then implement it across the wider brand. They've been doing that for years.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, first of all, I got very distracted, Jay. What is the Coca-Cola bottle doing on your desk if you meant to train for paddle tournament?
I don't know how it got here, Piotr.
That's not Jay, it's Abby.
You know what?
Abby.
I think we start the investigation. We have Helen Holmes on the channel, so let's see how we get. Let's see how that happens. It'll be the Hound of Basketball. The dog brought it in. The dog did it. It's my response.
Okay. All right.
I just so you know, it's an unopened bottle of Coke. It's not been.
It's for aesthetic purposes only.
It is. I've also got a tin of soup as well. The Heinz tomato soup.
Oh, he's doing his own branding study. That's the reason, PR. That's totally.
And Heinz is another one. How they've changed their branding over time as well. That's a huge.
Well,
one.
they used to be.
This is all marketing research.
Yeah.
That's it. This is here for marketing research purposes about branding and marketing. Because
there's something about Coca-Cola, like originally it was green, or was that Santa was green until Coke used him and then turned him red. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Santa wasn't always red; he was green.
Yeah. No way. Oh,
Father Christmas, Santa, American. Yeah.
Saint Nicholas was
Apparently.
green because
I read it on
because of
Instagram, so it must be
tree.
true.
100%, yeah.
oh, amazing, cool. Okay, well, don't know if we have any more questions from the audience. We wait for more questions.
Honestly, people, this is your opportunity because next week, if Adam's back, won't get
Yeah.
a chance. Honestly, once in a lifetime opportunity, once in a 6-month opportunity, grab it.
Brilliant. Okay, well, what else
So
is...
I've got a question for you two. Aside from the paddle tournament on the 15th of June for charity and the EIG event on the 2nd of May, what else are you boys excited and looking forward to?
I've been invited. An auctioneer is running like a drinks event.
Ooh.
So they're now doing a quarterly thing. They did Christmas last year, so obviously they want to be more sociable with their clients and things like that. So I was invited to that, and that's on the 9th of May, which also happens to be my birthday. For anybody who wants my PO box to send me gifts, let me know. I don't have a PO box, but so I will be going. I'll be going there and probably getting absolutely blasted with a bunch of. They're crazy as a set of auctioneers.
Super crazy. I am also going to that. I'm very excited, but I'm slightly nervous because the last one of their events that I went to, I don't remember getting home.
I actually made sure you got into the cab. I got you into the cab.
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you, Joe.
Thank you. No. To be honest, just and that's the nature of why I'm looking forward to that event. It's crazy. There's and we were there with a good bunch of people as well. So
we had a great bunch. Mo was there, Jeff McCauley. Oh, there's a load of it was great. It was great.
Super messy.
What about you, Piotr?
I'm looking forward to the reports of that event from you guys.
And the fact that Jay won't be able to work for a week, I probably won't either. 9th of May, I need to write off 10th, 11th.
Yeah, well, we have I'm recording a podcast on Tuesday with Kazi, getting on his podcast, and then on Wednesday, I believe Thursday. On Thursday, we're recording a few episodes for the Property Auction Hunters, and we've got a couple of guests. So it's there will be new episodes being released on our channel, and we're slowly getting to. We already exceeded 500 subscribers. I think we're at 530 right now. And we've got a little competition with a friend of ours in Lisbon. She also launches, she's into marketing. She's got a really well-performing social media digital marketing company. But she's launching her own private YouTube channel, her personal YouTube channel. And it's all about American being in Lisbon and basically sharing with people how it is to live in Lisbon. And basically, we've got a competition with who gets to 1,000 first. And the prize is basically the loser pays for the other person's weekend away in July.
Wow.
So, and it has to be within Europe. But it's a competition. She hasn't launched her YouTube channel yet, but I'm still nervous.
I'm nervous because I forgot about this to a certain degree, and then she messaged me on Instagram going, "Are you ready for the pain?"
Fighting talk.
Came out with the fighting talk. It's like Jesus, because this is what she does. She's like a marketer, kind of. She knows how these algorithms work, how to position things, and she's got a really good way about her as well. So even on video content, I think people will like watching and listening because she's very friendly, she's very open. I'm concerned.
Okay,
so
Piotr, quickly share your link so everybody watching can subscribe.
Yes.
Yes. Just
please, everybody, help them save their pocket.
Yeah, property
I
auction
do have to
hunters
tell you, I
on
remember
YouTube.
when we launched Property Sisters with Ruth and Carolina and Claire, well, the YouTube bit of it, which must have been, I think it was it during or just before lockdown? I can't remember, 2020 probably. And oh my God, getting to that first 1,000 subscribers was just painful. We literally used to have to like sit and play all our videos ourselves every night because you had to get to a certain number of views. It wasn't even just subscribers. You had to get a certain number of views as well to be able to get to that to monetize it. So, oh my God, it was so painful. But apparently the first 1,000 is the most painful.
Brilliant. We've got a couple of comments like hammer time from Bushra and
Hi, Bushra.
product placement from Linda. The thing is, both Bushra and Linda are watching it on our Hammered YouTube channel. So Bushra, Linda, head on to Property Auction Hunters channel since you're already on YouTube. And we release a video every Monday evening. We might change it to Sunday, but so far it's Monday. So
tag the world in your next post and get everyone to share. That's what I do. Shameless. Doesn't matter. People just untag themselves if they don't want it.
It's thinking. Amazing. Okay. Any competitions going on in your life, Helen?
Competitions. Ooh. No, but now you've said it, I feel like there should be.
What's
no,
life
but I have
without the
got
game?
lots of. I'm back and forward to London a lot over the next few months. Lots of exciting things coming up for me. I'm back next week. I am moderating a panel on investing and money and at the Modern Women Conference in London. So tickets are still available. And if you want a 50% discount code, drop me a note and I'll put the link below. That's really good. I really like that. Set up by Rosie Cockshaw. I went there last year, hadn't been to one of the events before. And I really like it because it's not just property. It's kind of women at kind of that managerial level and above across different industries. So they've gone into automotives, they've gone like lots of different industries. And actually what you learn is that the lessons are across no matter what sector you are in. If you're talking about leadership, it's applicable across all sectors. So I really enjoyed it last year. They had an amazing lady, Marissa, and I've forgotten her surname, but she launched a product. She was on Dragon's Den. She got investment from Stephen Bartlett into her canned drink of matcha. And she spoke so eloquently, so down to earth. So I hear this year's keynote lady is going to be just as good. So I'm really excited about that one. And then what am I back for? I'm back for your birthday and those drinks, Jay, because I'm on it's construction week. The day before, on the 8th of May, I'll be there with the women in construction, Michaela, and all my lovely fellow judges. So we're doing a few different panels through the day, talking about the award, talking about DEI across construction. We've got Carol Massey's going to be there, Kerry Evans, who has just gone to Mace, just got a really big job, a new big job at Mace. Bravo, Kerry. She's going to be there. Like these women, I just love that community. They are so supportive of me personally, very encouraging, and they are so supportive of like their own people and the women that they work with. It's just a lovely community to be part of. So if you're interested in joining that as well, then also let me know. But Construction Week, have you been to Construction Week? Come along. It's at Excel. So you can imagine it's like one of the grand designs. This thing is huge. I thought I was going to rock up and do a nice little panel last year. Oh my God, it's massive. It's one of those big halls in Excel. And then they do networking drinks afterwards. So just saying, I might not be on the greatest form already by the 9th of May. Judging by last year's networking drinks.
Hair of the dog, Helen, hair of the dog.
Not sure I remember getting out from that either. That was good. Thank you, Michaela. What else is that? There's HMO Awards, 31st of May. That's at the amazing Stoke, yeah, school. So Helen Turner Van Vostad doing that again. That was a really good day. We had, unfortunately, the weather didn't play ball last time. So hopefully at the end of May, I'll bring some sunshine, but we've got that again. I'm going to be hosting that day, and I enjoyed it so much last time. So that's 31st of May. And there's something else, 12th of June. Oh my goodness, tickets are literally selling like hotcakes. Like literally, if I filled 2 tables already. So if you want to be on a Property Sisters table, let me know. It's Iconic Wealth, set up by Kylie Anderson, and I'm doing a keynote speech on where is your wealth, finding your hidden pot of gold.
Wow.
But that had I missed it last year because I wasn't in the UK. But everybody raved about it afterwards. So this year I was going to go anyway, and then Kylie's asked me to speak. So I'm really delighted to be involved with that. And like I say, we've got 2 Property Sister tables there already. So that's 12th of June in London. There's loads of stuff going on. Speaker Awards on I think that's the 5th of July. I've got something else on the 19th of June, but I've forgotten what it is. So much fun to look forward to. Oh, we've got another question though, just before we leave, Piotr.
Yes, it's a question we kind of already covered. Richie, we spoke about it at the start of the chat, and to summarize very briefly, we think auctions are doing well, but only if properties are priced really attractively. If they're not doing so well. If sellers are able to take risks on reserve prices, then the properties can actually do pretty well. If not, the properties will struggle. And at the moment, things are hot. Last week was hot. Last couple of weeks were hot.
Yeah, check out the beginning of this episode, Richie, because that's exactly what we talk about at the beginning.
Fantastic. Okay, 9:54. I think we've got more words in the last 2 weeks than in the last 7 months. But we miss you, Adam. Come back.
We miss you. Yeah,
amazing.
Adam will be back next week. So if you have got more interest rate questions, come back next week and ask those to Adam directly. Check out his Sunday supplement in the meantime, and go to the boys. Remind us what the YouTube is, guys. Go to that and help them get to 1,000 subscribers, please.
Property Auction Hunters.
Property Auction Hunters.
Yes. Most searchable terms for our channel. Fantastic. All right, guys. Have a great Sunday.
Have a wonderful Sunday.
See you on Property Auction Hunters tomorrow.
See you soon.
Bye, everyone.